Being mindful of your words, your actions, and your body language when dealing with somebody that is grieving, especially a bereaved mother, is something we have to take into high cognizance. And that brings us to the topic of today: mind your language. Hello everyone, welcome to True Mother's Tears. My name is Zaina Mahmoud. I'm a grief loss and a parenting coach. If you're new to my channel, please don't forget to hit the subscribe button and the bell and notification to be notified whenever there is a new video. And if you've been with me from the onset, thank you so very much for being so supportive. I pray that I'll be a big blessing to you just the way you have been to mine. Thank you so much. October is fast approaching, and in October we mark the week, the Baby Loss Awareness Week, which comes up from the 9th to the 15th of October. This year we shall be marking it with a theme of mind your language, and that is why I want us to discuss about it today, to understand what we mean by mind your language when speaking with a bereaved mother. I met a friend recently that was telling me how she didn't go greet somebody, a friend of hers that had lost a child, because she didn't know what to say. She didn't go to visit the woman until she met the woman on the road, and that was what led to the breakup of that relationship. The woman felt bitter because she felt like, I feel you're my friend, you should have come to visit me because something this grave happened to me, and I would have expected you to be one of those that will be by my side. But because my friend said she didn't know what to say, and she didn't want to go and say something wrong, she chose not to go. So I was telling her that whatever it is, you should have just made an appearance and keep quiet. It is not a must that somebody says something. Sometimes it is so detrimental to what is on ground when you utter the wrong words. So to be on the safer side, which is always the best, is to make an appearance and keep quiet. You say a word of prayer and then you leave when you have stayed for a while. One of the points I want to highlight is the way some people think they know what is expected of somebody that is grieving. I'm going to highlight some few points here, and one of the first one is allowing somebody that is grieving to cry. When someone just lost a loved one or lost something very precious to that person, the natural reaction is the person is going to feel bad and the person will want to cry. So when you're with that kind of person, please never stop the person from crying. Crying is a coping mechanism to a certain pain. You know, someone might lose, maybe your marriage just broke up, or a relationship, or you lost a loved one, or you lost a job that has been your lifeline. You know, in that situation, you don't expect the person to just get up and say, I'm fine. Even when the person makes that kind of, takes that kind of action, you will be worried because you expect the natural reaction to be that of being broken and crying. So when somebody is able to cry over the loss of a loved one or loss of something very significant in the person's life, don't tell that person not to shed tears. Highest, you sit beside the person, allow that person let out his or her pain, and you know when it's getting too much, then you can tell the person to take it easy, but not to stop crying, not to tell the person don't cry, because if crying is a let out, crying is an outlet for pain. So when you see somebody helping him or herself by crying, just let the person be. It will get to a point where no one will even tell that person to keep quiet. By him or herself, you know that yes, I've let out enough of what is in me, and I think I'm okay now. So at that point, the person will keep quiet by him or herself. Another point I want to highlight is when someone does not cry. You know, there are some people that feel when something happens to them, they are so much in a shock that they are not able to have a quick reaction to it. Some people have delayed reaction. So in such circumstance, you might not understand that that is how that person is. Sometimes the person, he might not even understand why he or she is reacting that way. So it's not for you now to start talking, because I've had situation where some people go about gossiping and saying that maybe the person was actually wanted that to happen, or maybe the person was the architect of what happened. You know, Some people find it hard to react immediately. There are stages of bereavement, and the first one is denial. So when somebody is in that position of denial, the person might not be able to come to terms with what just happened, and as such, the person might not be able to cry. So it's not for you to now be using it to judge the person, saying all sorts, anything that you feel you can say as regard to what is going on. You are not the person wearing the shoes, so you might not understand what is going on with that person. As such, you cannot judge. When you see somebody, so we've had situations where some people are not able to cry, and then people go out and they kind of force you, just take it easy with the person. If the person does not cry today, it doesn't mean that in a few days time that person is not going to cry. At a point, that person is going to come to terms with what has just hit him or her, and then the person might cry. So at the moment the person is not able to cry, don't go about saying all sorts of hurtful things about that person, because in many cases those same statements get to the person and the person feels worse. We've had situations where it actually led to the breakup of so many relationships. So if you don't want that to happen, just help the person as the person is, with whatever the person is bringing up. Just guide that person through that part of grieving, but don't go about saying some things that you yourself are not sure about. The third point I want to highlight is decision making. At the time somebody is grieving, the person might not be in the best frame of mind to make some decisions, or the person might make very wrong decisions. So it's for you to also be there to guide that person, not for you to start scolding the person. You know, you see some situation where someone says something very absurd, and then you start, harassing or attacking the person based on what that person has said. The person is grieving, so that person is not in the best frame of mind. So it's not for you to now come and, why did you do this? Why did you say this? Scolding that person at that time. No, you just have to take it easy with the person, and let him or her know that no, this is not the best for you at this time, or you shouldn't be doing this, you shouldn't be taking this step. So many things like that. But there are ways in which you can guide that person in a very loving manner, not start attacking the person. Another point is, no matter what that person has done at the time of grieving, please hold your peace. Don't let it out. Hold your peace. This one, we've had situations where, a grieving person, had maybe had an antecedent of doing some things which you had wanted to talk about, and at the time the person is grieving, the person is vulnerable, you feel, now I can say such things, I can say all those things that have been on my mind to you, and then you come out, wow, and you start saying it because you feel the person is down. Now I can say those things to you. That is usually not the best time to come out with those kind of things. So just the way you were not able to say it when the person was not broken, when the person was not grieving, then you should also wait when the person comes out of that stage. Then you can say whatever it is that you have had in your mind to say to such a person. But at this time that the person is grieving, please hold it and let it pass. When the time, you'll be clear about when to say such things, so hold it to such time. Another point I want to bring up is that of the people that over religious, they come up with all sorts of things at a grieving period. Sometimes they bring up some different scripts, different prayer points that somebody has to say, and then they tell you, no, don't cry, just be saying this prayer, just be doing this, be doing that, be reading this, be reading that. Please always learn to take it easy with a bereaver. Sometimes that person cannot see, sometimes the person is not even in his right senses. Take it easy with the person. Don't come and be shoving down different kinds of prayers on that person. I know it is a time where that person needs to pray, but there is a natural human reaction to what has just happened. Let that natural human reaction happen. Don't force it away. Don't make it look as if, no, you shouldn't even react. Just be praying. The person will pray. Prayer is one of the things that is most helpful at this time. So such person will pray. You will advise the person to pray when that person is not praying. But don't make the person feel like you shouldn't even cry at all. You shouldn't even grieve at all. All you need to do is to be praying and praying and praying. So as such, when you see such person, that the grieving person crying, you stop the person from crying and tell the person to start praying. No. Allow that person cry. Allow that person feel the pain. Allow that person express his or her pain in whatever way, as long as the person is not going overboard. Allow that person express his pain, and then you can come in with the advice of going the prayer way, with the advice of telling the person the right prayer to pray. Because we've had situations of people saying, no, be reading this, be reading that, don't let it out, don't cry, don't feel bad, it's God that... Yes, we know that it's God that did it. Yes, we agree. But the same God also blessed us with tears. The same God also blessed us with a heart that can feel pain. Those are also blessings, because sometimes when someone does not feel pain, it's something that scares people, because people tend to believe that the aftermath, when you don't display the pain that you're feeling in you, the aftermath might be very disastrous. So you see that to be able to feel pain and shed tears is a blessing from God. It's a coping mechanism, like I said earlier. So when you see someone in that kind of situation, it is not for you to be judging the person, or for you to stop the person from that track and tell the person, no, like, pray, do this, do that. No, just allow the person take it one step at a time. If the person wants to, maybe the person wants to let out that pain, allow the person cry, when there's time for prayers, and when it's time for prayer, the person will pray. But don't feel like throughout the period you should be praying. You shouldn't cry at all. You shouldn't do anything. No. There's time for everything. There's time for prayer, there's time for tears, there's time for let out of, the pain you feel in you, so many things. But just allow the person take it as it comes. Don't stop that person from what he or she is doing to express his or her pain, as long as the person is not getting overboard doing it. And then family and friends, this is a very crucial time in somebody's life where you need them, where you need all those people, family and friends. You've seen when somebody just lost a loved one, or somebody is grieving over the loss of something significant, that is the time you should, try to surround that person with every support you can. Try to help make physical appearance, emotional appearance, spiritual appearance, every kind of appearance you can make in that person's life. This is the time you have to. Don't leave somebody, a friend or a family, to grieve alone. It is usually harder when somebody grieves alone. So helping the person by making an appearance is like you using the burden of what that person is carrying. So please, like my friend that said she didn't know what to say, even if just a hug, when you go to somebody that is grieving, and just by sighting the person, you give the person a very warm hug, that person will feel highly comforted. See, now you made an appearance without even saying a word. You can even just see the person and smile. That smile is kind of giving the person that, don't worry, there is hope that tomorrow you'll be able to smile again. Tomorrow is going to be a sunny day, and tomorrow will be better than today. So there are some body language that you give that will make the person feel highly comforted, and knowing fully well that the person can count on you. For you not to make an appearance at all by saying that you don't know what to say, you don't know how to face that person, this kind of action has really altered so many relationships, because you're on one side saying you don't know what to say, and the other person, the person grieving, feels that maybe his or her pain is not big enough. That was why you felt like you did not make an appearance. Or the person might feel you don't care about him or her. That was why you didn't make an appearance when he was most vulnerable in his or her life. So finding a way to make an appearance is very important. It doesn't mean that you have to come and talk, but just come and be quiet. There's so many things, like I highlighted. Give the person a hug, smile at the person, ask the person if you could be of any help. There's so many things that you can do without having to talk. If you know that you're not sure of your words, or you're trying to be very careful, these are things you can do, by just smiling at the person and doing all that, like I suggested. And another thing is, you can buy gifts. Even if you don't want to make an appearance, you can order gifts and send to the person. Get something very thoughtful, or something that that once the person sees, the person will feel, yes, this person cares about me. There are so many things you can do even without making an appearance. But for you not to make an appearance, not send someone, or not send any gift, there's so many things. You did none of this will make the person feel like maybe this person never liked me after all. So for you to just close up and not do anything will be very hurtful to that person. And especially if the person likes you very much or you're very close to that person. That is the time that this person feels, oh, this is my pal, this is my body, this person is going to be with me all through. And then it turns out that when the thing happens, you make a disappearing act. So please, let's watch things like this and let's try to help people grieving. Some people have even gone as far as accusing the grieving person of masterminding what happened that led to the loss of the significant loss the person is feeling. So, you know, in that kind of situation, you really have to watch your words. You really have to know what you say. No matter how glaring it is to you, you just have to manage it. You have to watch there's time for everything. At the time the thing is just happening, it's not the best for you to utter such words. There will be a time when you feel, okay, now I can say this, now I can talk. But just as when it's happening, when the person is at the highest point of his or her grieving, it's not when you come and you utter things that you think is the truth about what happened. So we really need to watch it. And like I said, please don't hesitate to show your concern, make a physical, spiritual, emotional appearance in the life of someone that is grieving, especially someone that is beloved to you or someone that is close to you. You never can tell how much that will mean to the person and help the person in his or her grieving journey. So till we meet in our next video, thank you for hanging in there. Thank you for believing in me. Thank you for being so supportive. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button if you're new to this channel. And if you've always been with me, thank you so very much. So do have a lovely weekend. Stay blessed and thank you. Bye bye.